Give ear unto my words, O I am. Consider my meditation. Hearken unto the voice of my cry, my King and my God. For unto thee will I pray. My voice shall I hear in the morning, O I am. In the morning will I direct my prayer unto thee, and will look up. For thou art not a God that hath pleasure in wickedness, neither shall evil dwell with thee. The foolish should not stand in thy sight. Thou hatest all workers of iniquity. Thou shalt destroy them that speak leasing. The I am will abhor the bloody and deceitful man. But as for me, I will come into thy house in the multitude of thy mercy, and in thy fear will I worship toward thy holy temple. Lead me, O I am, in thy righteousness because of my enemies. Make thy way straight before my face. For there is no faithfulness in their mouth. Their inward part is very wickedness. Their throat is an open sepulchre. They flatter with their tongue. Destroy thou them, O God. Let them fall by thy own counsels. Cast them out in the multitude of their transgressions. For they have rebelled against thee. But let all those that put their trust in thee rejoice. Let them ever shout for joy, because thou defendest them. Let them also that love thy name be joyful in thee. For thou, O I am, will bless the righteous with favor, and wilt thou compass him as with a shield. Psalms chapter 5. Deliver me from the hands of evil spirits who have sway over the thoughts of men's hearts. And let them not lead me astray from thee, my God. Establish thou me in my seed, that we go not astray henceforth and forever. Jubilees chapter 12 and verse 20. Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, those of you right here on YouTube. Yes, we thank God for you, and you. And we thank God for his mercy and his favor. Yes, we're in the book of Ruth, the book about Ruth, we'll say that way. Because Ruth is a continuation of what happened, is like the transitional period of how did David come about. Okay, we're in the last chapter here of the book of Ruth, and we're going to go on to First Samuel. And you have to realize and recognize that in these books, everything culminated to the judgments and the prophecies that we read about today. Many have tried to interpret these prophecies, but these prophecies are unfolded just before they happen, or right in the midst of while they're happening, before you even get to that point. God sends warning before destruction comes. Now, in verse 1 of chapter 4, then Boaz up to the gate. Then went Boaz up to the gate and set him down there. The gate. This is a gate, it's a picture that we have of Telerad, where there's looks like it's just looking over a field, and it's just a field of rocks. It's just rocks, just situated, stacked as a seat. And this is where the elders would sit before the temple or before the sanctuary. He said he went up to the gate and sat him down there. And behold, the kinsman of whom Boaz spake came by, unto whom he said, Ho, such a one. Turn aside, sit down here. And he turned aside and sat down. Now, apparently to sit at the gate, this was usual. As Naomi even pointed out to Ruth, this is something usual. He had to go by, and this is how they conducted a lot of business, was before the temple. Yes, which is true. And he took 10 men of the elders of the city and said, Sit ye down here. And they sat down. And he said unto the kinsman, Naomi, that is come again out of the country of Moab, selleth a parcel of land which was our brother Elimelech's. Our brother Elimelech's. Now they were all kin. And I thought to advertise thee, saying, Buy it before the inhabitants, and before the elders of my people. If thou wilt redeem it, redeem it. But if thou wilt not redeem it, then tell me that I may know. For there is none to redeem it beside thee, and I am after thee. And he said, I will redeem it. Now the law of redemption is the fact is that the land can be redeemed after 49 years, the year of Jubilee. Yes, the year of Jubilee. Now, after the death of the high priest, either one, the land that you have sold in Israel, true Israel, or should I say that was inhabited by the true people of Jacob, could be redeemed. I believe this is found in Deuteronomy chapter 25. Yeah, Deuteronomy chapter 25, as you can see behind me. Now, that has come again out of the country of Moab. Sells a parcel of the land which was our brother Elimelech's. And I thought it to advertise thee, saying, buy it before the inhabitants and before the elders of my people. If thou wilt redeem it, redeem it. But if thou wilt not redeem it, then tell me that I may know. For there is none to redeem it beside thee, and I am after thee. And he said, I will redeem it. Now you have to realize Boaz made a promise to to Ruth, that he will take if her near kinsman, Naomi means near kinsman, nearest kinsman, would not take her, then he would. That was his promise to her. And bear children unto her husband. Yes, deceased husband. Yes. Then said Boaz, what day thou bowest the field of the hand of Naomi? But thou must buy it also of Ruth the Moabitess, the wife of the dead, to raise up the name of the dead upon his inheritance. Now this also is there, we shall see. And the kinsman said, I cannot redeem it for myself, lest I mar my own inheritance. How will he do that? Because he has an inheritance from his father. Redeem thou my right to thyself, for I cannot redeem it. But now this was the manner in the former time in Israel concerning redeeming and concerning changing to conform all things. A man plucked off his shoe and gave it to his neighbor, and this was the testimony in Israel. In other words, this was nothing written in the law, but this was something that they did in order to have a testimony. One would take off his shoe and he'll keep the shoe, and the other one will have the shoe, and to show the shoe that he has to prove that this was his and they made this transaction. Then they would compare the shoes. Yes. Now, to confirm things, a man plucked off his shoe. Verse 8. Therefore the kinsman said unto Boaz, buy it for thee. So he drew off his shoe. In other words, the kinsman said unto Boaz. And Boaz said unto elders and unto the people, you are witnesses this day that I have bought all that was Elimelech's, and all that was Chilion's and Mahlon's. Now, one of the wives of the sons decided she wanted to go back to her people, the Moabites, of the hand of Naomi. Moreover, Ruth the Moabitess, the wife of Mahlon, have I purchased to be my wife, to raise up the name of the dead upon his inheritance. Now, this here was saying there was no father. He went down the line. There was no brother to raise up seed unto his brother. Then there was no near kinsman. Now, she could have went before his near kinsman that rejected it. And according to the law, she would untie his shoe latchet and spit in his face. And he would be the one who would be marked in Israel, that he would not bear seed or give seed in the name of his brother. Now, moreover, Ruth the Moabitess, the wife of Mahlon, have I purchased to be my wife. Now, with that land, he purchased her too, to raise up the name of the dead on his inheritance, that the name of the dead be not cut off from among his brethren, and from the gate of his place. And ye are witnesses this day. And all the people that were in the gate, and the elder says, we are witnesses. And the I am make the woman that is come into thine house like Rachel, and like Leah, which did build the house of Israel. And do thou worthily in Ephrathah, and be famous in Bethlehem. They were blessing her, and eventually it came to pass. And let their house be like the house of Perez, whom Tamar bare unto Judah, of the seed which the I am shall give of thee, this young woman. So Boaz took Ruth, and she was his wife, and went he in unto her, and the I am gave her conception, and she bare a son. And this is how the transition to the first kings, or to the king that we understand as David, has happened. That it may be famous, that his name may be famous in Israel, and he shall be unto thee a restorer of thy life, and a nurturer of thine old age. For thy daughter-in-law, which loveth thee, which is better to thee than 7 sons, have borne him. And Naomi took the child and laid it in her bosom. Oh, she was just happy. She just took the baby and laid him in her bosom and became a nurse unto it. In other words, she breastfed the baby or something, or began to, just nurse him. This is the way of women anyway. This is a natural way of women, to nurse a child. And the woman, her neighbors, gave it a name, saying, there is none born to Naomi. And they called his name Obed. He is the father of Jesse, the father of David. Now these are the generations of Perez. Perez got Hezron. Okay. Hezron begot Ram. Ram begot Amminadab. These are the lines of David. And Amminadab begot Nahshon. And Nahshon begot Salmon. And Salmon begot Boaz. So Salmon was the father of Boaz. And Boaz begot Obed. Now he's still the son of Obed. But it had to happen through a deceased of his brother. And Obed begot Jesse. And Jesse begot David. Now this is where you can follow the whole genealogy of the Davidical line. Yes, you can follow that genealogy. And we see here that David had a very interesting genealogy. Amminadab, this is mentioned throughout the Bible. Amminadab. Nahshon is not so mentioned. Now Boaz, a very rich man, blessed of the I am. And then Naomi, who was very fortunate to have even a part in the history of Israel. And Obed begot Jesse, and Jesse begot David. And with that, we're going to 1 Samuel. With that, we're going to say,
walk with me.